Thank you very much. Good to see everyone here. We are a full-service law firm in Israel, 300 lawyers, and we are partnering with Dov Moran and the Restart Israel mission for the last year or so, a little more than a year, as part of our social responsibility. And today, I'd like to air a little bit the elephant that is in the room. We know that in Israel now we have not only the issue of the war, we have also very intensive political issues internally. And I wanted first to give you or to offer to you a broader perspective of that item, the issue of the threat on democracy all over the world. It's just my reflection and my point of view. So let's start. We know that we are living in a turbulent era. We feel that everything happens all the time. The world is in a storm. And I'm sure that you ask yourself more than once, is it really that the world is becoming more unstable, more chaotic, or is it just our imagination? We remember what happens now. We don't remember what happened a year ago, 10 years ago. Maybe it was always like that. So it's only our perspective which fools us and not the reality. So the first part of this presentation is actually taking you in a short journey to see what happens in our lives on the political side, the social side, the economy side, and then we'll see what's the result of that. Now I need to work with two monitors. Let's see if it works. Okay, so we start with the physical aspect. The climate change, natural disaster. Over the past couple of months, we've witnessed massive wildfires in California, in Portugal. We have the deadliest wildfires record in Los Angeles with deaths and so forth. We have massive floods in Spain, Hurricane Elaine, massive fire in Portugal, and many more. But is it just what we remember now? And then we saw this graph. You see, this graph shows you what happens between 1900 and now. And let's say that until 1980, we just don't know what really happened because the communication was not good enough. But from the 80s till now, we just tripled the number of disasters around the world. So this is not our memory that fails us. This is reality on the physical world. This is another graph that is interesting. It shows you how the temperature in the world and the 2 years that are above all years since 1940. Now let's move to the political instability. Let's take, for example, the parameter of elections frequency and leadership turnover in OECD countries, a huge increase. In United Kingdom from 2016 to 2022, 6 prime ministers in 8 years. In Italy from 2018 to 2022, 3 prime ministers. In Australia, 6 prime ministers in 12 years. And in Israel, 5 elections in 3 years. And it's not only the issue of the instability, it's the direction of what's going on that is problematic. The trends is changing in the governance systems. So, and you know that it's not either you are a democracy or autocracy. There is a wide range in between, and we in Israel know it from nowadays. And the wave is going to the wrong way. Look, in 2003, 35 countries were going the right way to the democratization, and only 18 the other way. Nowadays we have 11 countries that are going to the democratization and 42 the other way. We have now 71% of the world in autocratizing societies, and the share of the world population that is going into autocracy is 35 against 7 only in 2003. So we are going the wrong direction. Now, the wrong direction takes us with results. This is the consequence of the wrong direction. The more we go to autocracies, then the economic situation deteriorates. Of course, the government's situation deteriorates. Actually, its political transformation goes to the governance situation, which affects the economy, and everything worsens. This is actually a study on 137 developing countries around the world. It checks many parameters, but the results are so clear. Now let's see the rise of extremism and populism in Europe. That's what's interesting here. This is it shows the populist parties in European countries, 31 European countries, including Austria, France, Germany, Spain, so forth. And you know, the populism is not tied to a single ideology. It's not either left or right. It's actually a collection of political and rhetorical tactics used to gain and maintain power. It can align with either left or right, and it often creates, the idea is creating division by framing the people against external or internal enemies. So it's immigrants, it can be ethnic group, it can be anything that is not the people. And you can see the rise over the last, let's say, 20 years in the populist parties in Europe. And we have a similar graph with respect to the US. It shows the animosity between the parties. I didn't have the time to show it right now, but it's not only Europe, it's the same in the US. Actually, it's a very similar thing that happens in Israel. Economy instability. In 300 years, we had 15 events of like crises, major economic crises. In the last 24 years, we had like 6 events, which is like 5 times the rate of the past. So also in the economy, everything is unstable. By the way, you can see the instability these days. Every now and then, the stock markets go up and down. It's not only the issues that I'll talk about. Globalization is part of instability also, but the effects are enormous on the instability of our economy. Inequality between people, social inequality. This graph shows the wealth concentration of the top decile of the population. And it doesn't matter, you can see it doesn't matter exactly where you are looking at. Either it's the US, China, India, Brazil, or France. Everywhere the top deciles has more wealth concentration than in the past. Now it looks maybe from far you can't see the numbers, but the black, gray, and light gray are a 10 years period of time. The green, which looks like just another 10 years, it's only the 2 years between 2020 and 2022. So those 2 years alone were like a decade before. So the instability increases and accelerates all the time. This is actually a graph that I really like. It shows the 10 richest billionaires that held. That was in 2022, which is now we can update that 1.4 trillion, more than the GDP of most countries, and you can see it in the graph. It is clear that a growing gap in wealth distribution raises social and political tensions and worsens instability. So we have shown that there is indeed significant increase in physical, political, and economic and social instability in today's world, an increase which increased the level of chaos. So it's not only our mind. This is something that we see and we feel, and there are the effects of events that really happen. It's not just our imagination. Now, I would like to offer a couple of reasons to this instability worldwide, or chaotic. This is the word chaos in Greek. First is the power of big corporations. You see here the seven magnificent, the seven companies which you see, and everyone refers to them as the seven magnificents, currently account for about 50% of the revenues of all tech and communication companies included in the S&P 500 index. 10 years ago, they were only 30%, meaning they've created monopolistic power that has helped them to maintain high growth rate over the years. In terms of aggregate market value, the seven magnificent reached a total of 14.5 billion, that was in 2024, compared to 5 trillion only in 2020. That means that in 4 years, they tripled their value, and this is against what happened to other companies which increased their value only by 50%. Now, political instability works in their favor, in the favor of the big corporations. They can more easily exert political and economic pressure to influence legislative and enforcement processes that might otherwise impose restriction on their activities, such as tax or antitrust that can block their growth. So the big corporations benefit from the government polarization and instability, which result in weak regulators, allowing them to even more grow. So this is one reason that I can offer. The other reason is the social media. Social media grew, look what happened in 24 years, from 25 million users to more than 5 billion, and the numbers are growing even today. Now, social media has become central to communication today. What is more basic reason, or what is the basis for democracy, if not the factual basis? If you don't know what happened and you don't know what is considered to be truth, how can you vote? The problem is that with the algorithm that echo your own voice of the social media, this is one thing. The ability of everyone to go online and create fake news and conspiracy theories together, instead of the initial promises of promoting diversity of opinions, social media algorithms actually created the opposite. The opinions that you hear are the opinion of yourself, and the reality is that people are all don't know the same or do not have the same basis, factual basis, in order to vote when they come to the election time. And what is a coincidence? There is a huge identification between the ownership of the big corporation and the social media. And Meta owns Facebook and Messenger and WhatsApp and Instagram, and Google owns YouTube and so forth. Now, until now, it was corporations and social media. Now, we have this. So it's not only big corporation and social media, which are almost the same. Now we have also the power of the sovereign, because this is the inauguration of Trump, and everyone was there. So now maybe the government works also for the big corporations and for the social media. Who knows? But I want to give you two ways to solve the problem, and then you can choose what you like from both of them. One was actually already proven to work. Do you know which country did it very successfully? Okay. Right, China. China did it. China, when the big corporations there was a question who is stronger, the party or the big corporation in China. Actually, a layer of billionaires disappeared from Earth for a while. Some of them came back, some of them didn't come back, and so it was clear in China who is stronger, the party or the country or the corporations. Another, on the social media front, they did a very simple thing. They filter all the social media, or don't allow other social media that they cannot filter. So basically, in China, you can read only what the government wants you to read. So this is one way to solve the issue, and they solve the issue. They are stable in this respect. They have their own issues, okay, and we don't want to choose that way. So there is another way. The other way is a strong democracy. Stronger democracy means that on top of legislation, which there is a good legislation and sufficient legislation in most democratic countries. The problem is enforcing the legislation. And for that, you need strong regulators who are independent from both social media, big corporations, and even the government, in a way. And you need courts. The courts that need to be independent. Once you have that, you can actually control the power of the big corporations and control the problem of social media and hold the social media accountable. And there were first signs around the world of doing it the right way. In Australia, for example, starting January 25, TikTok and Instagram are banned for children under 16 to protect minors online. This is one example. There are also processes against Google, Apple, and Amazon, and there is the European Union with the Digital Markets Act, DMA, which came into effect in March 24, which requires large tech companies to maintain competitiveness and protect consumer rights. And you can also eventually, if we feel that the social media is too strong and we cannot control it, we can also have a change in legislation and hold it accountable. In any event, these two are essential in order to have a world that will have a factual basis, will enable a factual basis to be stable enough to allow vote of voters around the world. And this is not only US, it's true for Europe, it's true for Israel. This is what we need to have in a democratic society. Thank you very much. And I just want to give the opportunity, this is a chaotic world. I show you that this is a chaotic world. I think that what you know about Israel is that actually a chaotic world works for our advantage in the sense that no one like us can work better in a chaotic world if you compare us to other nations. And I think that the next speaker is a great example of a person that works great in a chaotic world. He did it as an entrepreneur, and he's doing it today as an investor in deep tech, which deep tech actually, again, is something that is more stable and can ignore the chaotic movements of day-to-day changes.